everyone, and welcome back to the bench. If you've ever found an old electronic device you want to bring back to life, this site is probably familiar to you. This is a classic vintage handheld poker game. It's in beautiful shape externally, but unfortunately the batteries decided to let go a long time ago. When batteries leak, they often leave behind a corrosive residue that prevents the device from turning on. In this instance, I'm not even going to attempt to turn it on until we deal with this issue here. Most of the time, this problem is fixable, even though it looks not so good right now. But we'll have to be able to get in there and see what the exact issue is before we can make any determinations on if the actual contacts need to be replaced or if we can just get away with cleaning them. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the essential process of cleaning this mess. We're going to start with vinegar to neutralize this alkaline residue. And then we'll clean up with some isopropyl just to see where we're at. And then we'll hopefully be able to test this game and see if it works. As you can see, it's a Entex electronic poker game. And it was made in 1979. It says malfunction, try 4 new AA batteries. Well, in this case, we're not going to be able to do that until we get this cleaned up. So let's see what we can do. We'll dive in. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take these old batteries out. We're just going to use, I just got a little dental pick here. I'm just going to use it as a pry tool and just try and carefully pull these out. And before you even attempt this, you should definitely put some gloves on. This stuff can be corrosive, and it's definitely just not good for you overall. So we're gonna take these and they came out okay. But this will let us just kind of see where we're at here. Yeah, there's quite a bit of alkaline material in there. Offhand, one of these oh no, that was just, it looks like the contacts are still not rusted out. There's not a ton of corrosion other than what's left behind from the batteries. So hopefully this is still savable, but we'll be able to do that here in a minute. So for these batteries, you want to make sure they get disposed of properly. Any kind of batteries you should dispose of properly. My local landfill has a facility for taking old batteries, so that's where they're going to go. Until I get them there, I do have what I call a containment bucket, which is this bucket here. And it's filled with kitty litter. Any kind of old batteries, whether they're lithium or alkaline, I just bury into the kitty litter. More so for lithium, just because they do have the chance possibly of exploding, whereas alkaline is more likely just to leak. But either way, that'll keep them contained and safe until we get them dealt with. So what I'm going to do first is just brush away all this residue. I got a stiffer plastic brush here. Just going to give everything a good brush just to loosen up all of that residue that's kind of left behind. And I'm just going to tap that into the same bucket. Look at that. It's actually much better already. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is neutralize any of that remaining uh, alkaline matter that's in there. So I have a container here that's filled with vinegar, and its only purpose is for this exact job, and that's cleaning up corroded battery compartments. So we'll just take some of this. I'll set it off to the side. And I also got a toothbrush here, an old toothbrush. So I'll just dip it in the vinegar and just give everything a good scrub. You can see a little bit that the acid is starting to react with that alkaline, and it's fizzing a little bit, which is perfect. That means all of that leftover battery gunk is just getting neutralized and making it a little bit safer for us. So we'll give it a good clean here. Just go over all the contacts and stuff just to make sure. You can still see that some of it's still fizzing a little bit when I come back. There's probably a little bit on my brush now, but that's okay. But we're just gonna really scrub everything clean. All right, and then once that's done, I have a dry rag here, microfiber. I'm just gonna dry up all that vinegar that we just put in. Give it a good wipe, dry everything up, and then we'll see where we're at. I'm actually really pleased with how clean this is becoming already. It's not always the case. Sometimes when there's that much battery acid leakage, there's a lot of problems. And not saying that there's not going to be a lot of problems. We don't know if any of that has seeped inside the device here. But for now, if you just kind of take a look, I don't know how well we can see that, but see if I can focus a little better here. But yeah, that's much, much better already. And we haven't even really cleaned it. We've just neutralized the acid. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is I'm just gonna have a little peek. There is some acid and stuff that's kind of worked its way underneath these little contacts. So for that, I have a dental pick here. I'm just gonna try and scrape it out. If you don't have a dental pick, a small screwdriver, one of your little micro screwdrivers, precision screwdrivers will do the job. But you can see I'm already pulling some gunk out of there. Some of these contacts, it looks like, were a little bit worse than others, so it's not surprising. But yeah, it's worked, and they're hook shaped, so it's pretty easy for stuff to get underneath. I can see this one here in particular. It's got a little bit of a it lost its nickel plating or whatever the plating was on there. It's a lot more faded now. It's not as shiny as the others, so it obviously got worn off. Those batteries, I didn't check the expiration on them just to kind of get a rough gauge of how old they were, but they didn't look too old. They looked like newer Duracells. So it's hard to say exactly how long they were in there, but this is a good example, and I'm sure we've all been here. But if you're ever going to store your electronics for any period of time, you should always take your batteries out. Ooh, yeah, you can see this. I don't know how well the camera's picking that up, but there's some of that actual nickel plating on my hook there that came off. All right, so think we're looking a lot better already. A little bit still stuck in here. All right. So I'm gonna get my stiffer bristled brush again and just give it another brush. Just anything that got left behind, we can pull out. You can see some of the nickel plating flying out here. That's okay. There's not really much we can do about that, unfortunately. Damage is done. Now, once we get to the stage where I feel comfortable that we can test this, we're just going to put some new batteries in and go. If it doesn't work, we'll pop it open and see if anything is kind of leaked inside. And we'll go from there. But hopefully everything just kind of works, because it's looking pretty decent. Except for this one, I don't know how well the camera's picking up, but this one contact right on the end here. All of the plating has basically been wiped off of that, so we'll see if we have to replace it. But I feel good about this. So again, we're just trying to get everything out of here. All right, so I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep brushing, and then when we get to the next stage, I will bring you back, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I have decided that I think we're going to open this up and just getting a closer look at the contacts as I was cleaning this a little deeper. I'm a little concerned that some of the battery acid is flowed inside, so we're going to open this up and have a look. It won't hurt just to open it up too, and just we can look over capacitors and anything else that might be aged out, because yeah, like I said, this thing is closing in on 50 years old, so, or 60 years old, I guess. What year? Yeah. My goodness, no, 50. 1979. Math is not mathing today. But yeah, we'll get these screws out. I'm just using a Phillips screwdriver. It looks like there's only 4 screws, one on each corner, so I'll just give it a little twist and hopefully everything comes up. And hopefully it's not so bad inside, but we will see. Let's gently just kind of pry up this case. Hopefully I got the screws out enough. This one's still not coming yet. I look like brass screws maybe. They're still in pretty good shape. Got 1 out, 2 out. These back ones are putting up a fight. Let's see, I might need a longer screwdriver. This bit that I'm using is also kind of, it's worse for wear. Let's put it that way. It's not in its best shape that it has been. Ain't no spring chicken anymore, so let's just see if I got something else that'll fit down in there. Where's my other screwdriver set? I don't know if this one will fit. Nope. Okay. I'm gonna go grab that, and I will be right back. All right. So I grabbed my iFixit precision bit, because I don't think I necessarily need a precision bit. They're pretty big screws, but these kind of deep in there. There we go. This one still needs a little more, a couple more twists. And then we should be able to get in here. All right, let's see what we got. Looks like that just pulled the faceplate off. I just want to make sure I don't lose the screws in here. So I'm just going to tip it over gently. There we go. All right, so I got 4 screws. I'll just set them off to the side here. Keep them safe for now. All right, so looks like, yeah, we can see that some of the corrosion has worked its way down into the, let me see. Come on, lighten up a little. There we go. Yeah, some of the corrosion has worked its way down here onto these contacts, so we'll give those a clean. And then while we're in here too, we'll just kind of see if anything else needs a little bit of a touch-up. So we'll lift off this faceplate here. Look, everything inside is looking really good. It's in really good shape. Yeah, I think so. But I'm going to start with the battery connector, and then I just kind of getting a sense of what exactly is in here to see if we need to go any further. And it does look like there's a circuit board down there that does have some capacitors. So once we're done with the batteries, we'll give that a clean. So I'm just going to go at it the same way that I went off with the top one, with the inside of the connection. I'm going to start with some vinegar. So I'm just going to use a Q-tip this time. Clean that up. Yeah, so just make sure all of that battery acid is neutralized on all the connections. And it looks like pretty simple for electronics from this age. There's just a positive and negative going from either side. That's pretty gross. Yeah, so I'll take the thicker brush again. This one's not going to harm anything. Yeah, some of the nickel is coming off here too. But that's okay. It's like I say, like this thing being like 50 years old almost. It's in pretty remarkable shape. I have a keen interest for these NX electronics because my uncle always used to keep them in the bathroom for when he was doing his business. He always had an NX game going on in there. So I do appreciate them. Not so bad. I think I got most of that there. I'm gonna have to give it a little bit of elbow grease. Just get it out. But yeah, that's not so bad. I'll see if I can scrape some of that off too. It's just a little, almost looks like calcium buildup. It's the best way I could describe it. But yeah, this one contact is probably the worst, and it's the same one as the nickel plating had worn off of. So this one has probably got hit the worst. Of course, it's right where our negative connection is also. Now, I'm probably not gonna resolder that. I'm gonna see if in its current state it'll work, because it's probably got better connection underneath that corrosion and that little bit of solder that's on there than anything. And if I take it off, and this is just a little bit of isopropyl alcohol. But if I take it off, then I might not get it secured as good as it was. So just do a little clean up there and get some of that yucky dust that's in there. Probably be able to blow some of that out too. All right, so I mean, it's not perfect, but the corrosion, the battery acid, I think is neutralized and gone for as good as I can do. So I'm just gonna work away at this a little bit more, and then we'll have a look underneath the number pad here, see what it's looking like down there, and yeah, so I'll be back in a moment, and we will take the cover off. Okay, so got it cleaned up pretty good, but we're just gonna have a look underneath here. Are these the same screws from the top? No, they're not. Okay, they'll go over here, keep them separated. You know, I kind of miss, or I kind of like that these old electronics have, you know, 2 screw types instead of like 97 different Torx screws, different sizes. What's holding you in there, boy? Nothing. Okay. Okay, I see. There's a connector there. Just want to make sure. It looks like it is soldered on. Why would you do that to me? Okay, well, it is soldered, and I don't really feel like going through the pain of desoldering it. I can see. I don't know. I guess we'll just bring this up a little closer, and we'll have a look together. So there's a couple of capacitors in there, but just kind of looking at them from this angle, they're not bad. I don't see any kind of swelling or any burn bits on the board. At the back there, that's where it's soldered onto the top. So yeah, we're not going to mess with that. There's no point. I don't see any reason to go digging in there, so we're just going to put that back together. But hey, at least we had a look. Everything in there looks pretty clean too, so I don't think it needs any extra cleaning. It's almost like this top cover that goes on here is doing its job and keeping dust out. The only thing that has seemed to have seeped in here is the battery acid from the battery compartment. So that's not so bad, actually. So at this point, I did give it a pretty good cleanup. It's not perfect, but I think I'm just gonna blow it out. Got my blowgun here, and we'll just see if that does any good. Just crank it up. Okay, not so bad. What I'm gonna do is just take a dry cloth, just wipe off the screen here. Might have a little damage actually in the screen. We'll have to see when I turn it on, but I do see some discoloration in there. So yeah, we'll have to have a look and see if what that's doing, if it's affecting anything. But this thing here, it looks like it only, like you got your dealer and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I don't know if it'll be affected at all, but we will see once everything gets put back together, and if we can get this thing powered on. All right, so we will. I think we're in good shape here now. We can give this thing a test run. So I'm actually going to reattach this to the front plate. I'm just giving it a bit of a wipe down. It does have a little bit of that battery gunk in there. I'll blow it off. All right, and I think what we'll do is I'll get a different cloth here and we'll just wipe it out with some ISO. All right, I got a little bit of isopropyl on the side here. I got a little bit too much on there, but that's okay. I'll just give it a wipe down. No harm in that. Might as well just kind of do inside here too, especially over these battery terminals. Make sure everything is clean. I'll get the keyboard later because that'll be still open to the surface. All right, then put this back on. Just like so. And we'll put the screws back in. Man, all right. Then I think the next thing we'll do is give it a test. So I'm gonna wipe out the battery compartment here with ISO as well with that same cloth. Just make sure everything is cleaned up. Is that the right? Yeah, there it is. Come on, get in there. We're not lined up there. I don't know. Let's see. Try the other one. That one's going. This one's putting up a little bit of a fight on this corner, so let's see. There we go. All right, and then we'll just use the same ISO and just wipe everything out. Okay, so I grabbed some batteries. These are nothing fancy, they're just Maxwell alkalines, and I'm gonna try and follow the arrangement on here. I'm thinking at this point, I still got a little bit of cleaning to do in there, but I'm thinking at this point, if it's gonna work, it should work. I'm mixing battery types. Don't do that, but might be okay for just testing. I think they're all newish anyway. Okay, slide the battery compartment on, make sure it goes on. It is not. Okay, I thought it was a little sticky because of the battery acid in there, but looks like it needs a little bit of adjustment, so we'll have a look at that in a minute. But is in the off state. It does say 0 on there. Let's see what happens when we turn it on. Still says 0. Lovely. Off, on. Okay, well maybe. I just don't even know how to play this. CE, AC. Ooh, something happened. Okay, look at this. Looks like something's going. Cool. Okay, yeah, I think that's working though. I think that's how it should operate. Which makes me pretty happy. I think the cleaning that we did was good. So the next thing, I guess, is just I gotta figure out how to get that battery compartment lid back on. So I'm gonna switch this back off, and we'll take our batteries out of there. Just use my little dental pick again. Shove them off to the side. Cool. All right, so this thing is a little bit dirty, so I got a little bit of ISO left on here. I think dip a corner, give it a clean. Might just be a little bit of corrosion left on here. I didn't actually clean this part, so that's on me. That's a little bit too much, but hey, there we go. I'll just let that dry for a second. Doesn't take long. I'm using, this is the last of my bottle of 92%, I think, ISO. And then usually I use 99. But I just wanted to get rid of this bottle that I've had kicking around for a while. So here we go. All right, so there's all the batteries. They're lined up. Let's push. Yeah, it's like right there when all the batteries are in. Oh, look at that. We got her. Let's see if she turns on still. There she goes. Well, there we go. I think I'm pretty happy with how it's working. It does need a little bit more cleanup, but for its age, it's looking pretty well. Yeah, so if you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, please hit the subscribe button. For more of these, hit the like button. If you have any suggestions for anything that you'd like to see, let me know. If you have any electronics that you need to repair and you want some tips or tutorials, let me know that as well, and I can make a video and send it your way. Yeah, so that's it for me. This has been Cody from Second Wind Sales and Services with another repair video, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.